Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Shut up and get in the car!
Hack the planet!
We've come a long way since hacking the planet, or whatever this is from Swordfish. Today, everyone has a computer and access to the internet, but that ease of access has a pretty dark origin: piracy. In the early 2000s, it completely upended the way the music industry functioned, and just as it was about to change Hollywood, streaming reared its ugly head. Believe it or not, we're on the brink of a new status quo, the post-streaming age. How? Well, because piracy is back with a vengeance, and it's going to change everything forever. But here's the real question. Is this actually a good thing?
Nothing's impossible.
Good. So it can be done? We slide in a Trojan horse hiding a worm?
Something like that. Is this an interview?
Sort of.
The way that Americans watch movies has drastically changed over the past 100 years. Obviously, Nickelodeons and silent films were one thing, then big budget studio fare and television, and that's kind of where things stopped for a good 5 decades. You paid money and you got to watch the 24 frames per second shimmering myth that's enchanted legions of people before you. It connected people from across the globe, and the only real common denominator that brought all of us together, other than watching, was that we all paid for this privilege. Whether it be with our time, watching commercials, or with our money at the box office, we supported these mediums with financial compensation because we didn't have a choice. As the business of film matured, it had to deal with monopolies, and then that was calcified into a fairly rigorous hierarchy. You had television on the bottom of the totem pole, you had indie feature films, and then studio films. And all of these pieces of media came with attached business models. Distribution companies, studios, mom and pop video rental stores, they all worked together in a thriving ecosystem. Since the 1980s, a wide release movie would be put into theaters by a combination of a studio and a distribution company, and if it made money at the box office, it was considered a success. If it didn't make money, it had a second bite at the apple thanks to the burgeoning medium of home video entertainment. Studios had an additional way of recouping their money and ensuring success. Creators had a second day in court, a backup plan to save their careers from falling off a cliff.
And when that went away, that changed the type of movies that we could make.
Similarly, on television, the medium originally functioned as a single broadcast that was not recorded and never was seen again. You know this beloved horror icon, Vampira? Well, literally 0 full episodes of her infamous horror host show are currently available. No one thought to save them, and the negatives quite literally do not exist anymore. Enduring and beloved programs from yesteryear literally can't be seen because they were never preserved. But thanks to syndication, the process of selling programs to local affiliates, there was another chance at success. Shows that originally seemed like they were a failure, like Star Trek, amassed immense followings of fans clamoring for more. These models proved so successful that studio and network contracts had to be completely upended and rewritten so that the creatives involved would benefit from the success of repeated viewings. And then the new millennium rolled around, and the idea of not paying for things gained some serious traction on multiple fronts. Thanks to the introduction of peer-to-peer sharing networks, the entertainment business would never be the same again. Torrent sharing changed everything, and if you're unfamiliar, they're a communication protocol that allows users to distribute data across the internet in a decentralized manner. The music industry was upended overnight.
Wow, downloading music for free is awesome! What the hell is that?
It was a breaking point that we're still culturally reckoning with to this day. The movie industry, on the other hand, didn't really have the same earthquake status quo change. Sure, it had internet piracy, but it never manifested in the same way. Instead, it had Netflix, a DVD mail order rental company that decided to shift its entire business model into creating high-quality network-level programming and distribute it to its users. All you had to do was pay a small subscription fee. Instead of paying $10 to rent one movie, you now only had to pay $5 to see every movie. And this sparked the decade and a half of what we've been calling the streaming wars that we're currently living through. Every major studio decidedly wanted their own Netflix. HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Discovery Plus, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, you name it, and there's a premium streaming service for it. Did you ever know MGM Plus is a thing? What about Shudder or Crackle, Tubi, Pluto? The list goes on and on. If there was any justice to this world, this ecosystem would run in parallel to network and cable TV. But that's not the way the world works. The cable channels have steadily gotten more and more expensive as the years have passed. Every year, more and more people have made the jump to exclusively streaming services. Initially, this jump seemed like a generational one, but as time has progressed, it appears to be one that everyone is slowly making. But here's where we get into the complexity of the ecosystem we currently have. The network deals that previously existed did not transfer over to the new streaming format. Ideas like royalties, bonuses, and incentive payments. The streaming platforms felt like they didn't have to to support creatives like actors, writers, and directors outside of the one-time payment for producing the original product. Additionally, the number of buyers for these projects have also massively decreased, leading to the current entertainment hellscape we're currently living through. All of these companies have started functioning like big tech companies, not film and TV production companies.
We are canceling the show.
What?
Why? Well, the algorithm felt it wasn't hitting the right taste clusters.
Taste clusters.
Cory Doctorow wrote a book called Vacation, all about how tech companies trap you in their ecosystem and then systematically make it worse over time, but because you're trapped there, there's no way out. And that's what Hollywood has done. They're rapidly themselves and us, and they think we'll continue forking over our hard-earned dollars over and over again. The truth is, people only want to pay for things that are good, and if something is bad, they'll just steal it. Is there a new piracy movement right around the corner? Honestly, it's already here. According to one report, half of the people in the UK are using jailbroken Amazon Fire Sticks to watch pirated content. The device, freely available to purchase across the globe, would then allow you to download third-party apps directly to the Fire Stick to circumvent streamer protocols. Similarly, a recent Verge article chronicled the widespread use of two new devices, the VC Box and the Super Box, that do the same exact thing, only without needing the technical knowledge to jailbreak a Fire Stick. While these devices do not immediately support piracy, jailbreaking the Fire Stick is relatively easy. Back in the 2000s when this was happening, urban legends would spring up constantly about individuals being prosecuted by the government or record labels for pirating their copyrighted material. And while there were real cases of this happening, most of the people who pirated content were never even served a cease and desist letter, let alone taken to court. But guess what? In June of 2024, a middle-aged man named Michael Hormung was sentenced to 4 years over his involvement for selling illegally configured piracy boxes similar to the VC Box and Super Box.
I have this friend, and he gave his cable guy $50, and then he got all the movie channels for free. Did you ever hear of anything like that?
You mean illegal cable?
So what does this all mean? Piracy often surges when market consolidation is about to happen. It's usually a bellwether of too much choice and increasing price points. It also means that there's no going back. People aren't flooding back to physical media or to network channels or to cable. They're sticking to streaming. They're just finding ways to not pay for it, which is bad. The previously mentioned Verge article chronicles how a black market network of mom and pop sellers are making ends meet by illegally selling these devices out of the trunks of their car. People want content, and they're just unwilling to pay the high prices needed to access all of it. But that in turn is a good thing. Why? Because none of this is sustainable. The streaming model functions on a model that requires infinite growth. The tech company mindset, not a studio mindset. Their perspective is, foolishly, if we make enough new shows that are interesting or noisy, people will come to our platform and sign up. But then they typically stop producing the shows after about 2 seasons, and people get frustrated and cancel their subscriptions.
Netflix has canceled its ambitious, widely hyped anime adaptation, Cowboy Bebop. The move comes less than 3 weeks after the show's November 19th debut on the streaming service.
These companies are always operating on the grass is always greener paradigm. They're not valuing the people who have gotten them to this point. They're valuing the ever-elusive new customer, and that's having an adverse effect. Basically, everyone who has the ability to get a streaming subscription currently has one. Do you really think there's just a massive number of people sitting under a rock finally preparing to sign up for Netflix? No. And if they haven't, they're gonna pirate. They're going to work around the system in order to get what they want. Which leads us back to the rapidly expanding world of Superbox, VC Box, and Amazon Fire Sticks. They're a billboard that says, this is a problem. We see that even in the rapid merging of studios. Fox and Disney, Paramount and Warner Brothers, Amazon and MGM. None of these things are good. They're all bad for business, bad for creativity, and bad for global culture. They're only good for short-term profitability and to help the executives justify their jobs to the shareholders. Netflix has raised their prices multiple times in the past few years. Hulu, Prime, and Paramount Plus have done the same thing. It's just the reality we live in. Everything is getting more expensive and no one is getting paid more. It's pretty inarguable that piracy is taking on an increased cultural ubiquity. Last time this happened, multiple industries were changed forever, and decidedly for the poorer. But herein lies the paradox. That pain and pressure might actually be good. The fact that everything feels like it's on the verge of collapse might be an opportunity to redo some of the decisions that have got us into this state. Remake the digital future to something that has the best of the now and the best of the past.
The future is now!
We need guardrails, AI protections, and residuals for performers and creatives, all things that the streaming era has stripped away. The rise in piracy is a last gasp of a culture saying this isn't sustainable. The question is, will it get fixed, or are we all just doomed? And well, that's all we have for this episode of Nerdstalgic. What do you think? Is piracy here to stay? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, please like and subscribe for more videos just like this.